also think I'm going to put Andrew on my nifty new shit list, knock knock pad, once in 2025. I don't know.
Just once. Yes.
Just once. I don't think it's going to be more than once. I feel like that's a healthy rate. That's a
very healthy rate over the course of the year. Yeah, I'm only pissing you off once. That's phenomenal. Welcome to Millennial, the home of pretend adulting and real talk. I'm Andrew.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Pamela.
Happy New Year, Laura. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy holidays. Happy Christmas. Happy Project 2025 year.
Oh, boy.
How was y'all? Oh, boy. How was y'all's holidays? Do anything fun?
It was really nice. I actually got to spend a lot of time with family and friends, maybe a little more than I normally get to spend, which is great. I went on a little solo trip that I'm going to talk about more at like a little bit later in the show. But it was overall just like very restful. It did get to the point towards the end where I was like, okay, I'm becoming a piece of shit and I'm not accomplishing anything. So I need to go back to regular life, but it was really fun.
Yeah. It might be a little unhealthy to think the following way, but work gives you purpose and like structure.
Yeah.
So I like having something
even
to do.
Yeah. I would say even like food. I don't know about you guys, but like I give myself such a pass for food on holidays. Like I try to eat well and like, yeah. So like it's like a built-in cheat day, but like by the time the holidays were over, I had a vegetable for the first time in God knows how long. And I was like, oh, wow, that's nice. Like
your body's
my body
like,
needed this.
Thank you.
It's like nothing fried.
Greens.
This is lovely.
Yeah. Well, how were your holidays otherwise, Pam?
They were good. Like Laura, I spent a lot of time with family and friends, like I think more so than I have in the last few years, which is good. But it packed. Like I feel like the 2 weeks went by so quick.
Yeah. That's how it goes, right? And then you're like, well, I need a vacation from the vacation.
I know. I was like, I got no me time, and now I'm like exhausted.
Yeah. So. It's funny, actually. I feel like all three of us ended up spending extra time with family and friends. I had no choice to spend time with friends because I was on my first ever cruise with friends. So we were all locked in together. Yeah.
No drama.
It was all
no
good.
Squabbles.
I was going to say, this is the big question, Andrew. Are you still friends?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, no, it was amazing. I did a Virgin Voyage cruise around the Caribbean. We did 3 incredible excursions. I'm still processing all of it because it was just so much fun. And it was my first time snorkeling. Obviously, the cruise itself was a big first time, but it was so cool being down there. Oh, my God. Just had a wonderful time. Would highly recommend Virgin Voyages if you're looking for a cruise. Everybody who I spoke to on the ship. And that's kind of an interesting part. You end up meeting people on the ship too. If you're like sharing a hot tub together, oh, where are you from? You know, this type of thing. Kept saying to people, oh, it's my first time on a cruise. And everybody's like, oh, well, this is a great one to start with. And it's going to spoil you. And all the others are going to look like
so many
shit.
like chronic cruise people. It's really funny when you talk to them because they're so excited to like show you the way kind of, but like people are really into cruising. And I know we have a few family friends that like since retiring have become big cruisers, and they're always like, you know, saying like, oh, if you want tips, like we'll tell you like where you should start and like what's a good starter cruise and stuff. So it's funny.
Yeah,
it's a whole like other community.
Yeah, that was another interesting aspect of it, meeting these people who are like, oh, I'm on my 30th cruise. And it's typically older people. But Virgin is also adults only. So that was really, really nice.
No children.
Yeah. And this cruise reaffirmed my belief that I'm never having a child. It's so nice not having any kids on board, especially after spending a few days with my nephews. But
Andrew loves his nephews. All of our listeners with children. He adores children.
Oh, no, wait. Chloe, cut this. Becca, I love your children. They're wonderful. I had a great time with them. It's nice to be away from kids completely. And I have some stories from the ship, but I'll share those, I think, in the future as, you know, topics come up here on the show. Anyway, I was wondering if the Surgeon General was thinking he was cute by announcing 3 days into January that there should be cancer warnings on alcohol. Like, that timing was very suspicious. Here's dry January, and alcohol causes cancer.
I think that's why he did it, right? He was like, let me make sure. Make sure everybody sticks to dry January, because most people fall off the bandwagon 2 weeks in, just like the gym starts clearing out 2 weeks into January.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Either that, or the Surgeon General knows what the next few years are going to be like. Is aware of what alcohol consumption was like during COVID.
Yes.
And is like, y'all, please.
Yeah.
Save your livers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RFK is not going to.
You both have some cocktails from time to time, or a nice beer.
Oh, yeah.
Is this scaring you at all? Do you feel like we should have cancer warnings on the labels?
Every few years, they also come out and say, like, hey, red wine's actually good for you. Or like,
right.
Chocolate's bad for you. Just kidding. It's actually good for you. Same with coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee's either going to kill you or make you live longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything's dangerous.
I'm not opposed to them putting cancer warnings on the bottles, because alcohol literally is poison. I mean, anytime you drink it, you are poisoning yourself. That's the
delicious poison.
I agree. But that's what's leading to the intoxication. So I can totally see that there's a connection there. And obviously we've known there was some kind of connection, especially for people who are maybe drinking in excess. But yeah, I think it's a good thing to include the warning.
Why you got to do this to us, though?
I mean, this is our...
I'm talking to the Surgeon General now. Why you got to do this to us? I mean, we use alcohol as an escape, and I know that is not healthy, but come on. You don't need to spook us while we're downing a shot or a bottle of beer.
Would it have been better if they had done it before Christmas, though? Like, imagine that putting you off of imbibing while you have to be around relatives.
Right.
Okay, let's be real. This is not going to change anyone's behavior.
Of course not.
Nope. And it probably won't be added to the label. So, because in order for it to be added to the label, Congress would have to act. And we know they don't do that. Ever.
The other thing, too, is like, if you look, our Surgeon General warnings are like, nobody really pays attention to them. They're very discreet in comparison to other, like, I had a friend from Brazil, and she was a chain smoker. But anyway, she would smoke Brazilian cigarettes, and on their packets, they like have pictures that show like, hey, this is what's going to happen to you if you keep smoking. So like other countries have it way more graphic. Imagine like just trying to get a nice bottle of gin, and then there's this like awful picture of a liver on the front instead of like, you know what I mean? Like, so we're not going to have to worry about that.
Yeah. Listeners, go on Google Images and search for cigarette warning labels. And to Pam's point, you'll see on the boxes, like the whole box, the whole width of the box, you just see this open mouth and somebody's teeth rotting from the cigarettes. I mean, that is extreme. Or a picture of a smoker's lungs compared to a non-smoker's lungs. That is brutal. A brutal warning.
That might be a better deterrent, though, to be fair. But yes, we don't have to worry about that here in America.
Yeah. Well, I think alcohol improves my life and improves my sex performance and my cardiovascular health and so many things.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, Andrew, but I think everyone believes alcohol improves their sex performance.
Do they believe that? I mean, you could have whiskey dick.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have one. So...
You don't have whiskey dick?
I don't have a dick.
No, whiskey dick's a real thing. It's like I'm too drunk to get hard.
I know.
Oh, she knows.
I'm aware. I'm just saying a lot of people think
that's a good idea.
When they're drinking, they think they're really good at it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. That's what's happening there. Breaking today, Tuesday, Meta, the company behind Facebook, Instagram, Threads, WhatsApp, they announced that they are bending the knee to the Trump administration. They are going to abandon fact-checking on their platforms in favor of community notes. And we've seen a lot of tech companies kiss the ring, Donald Trump's ring, over the last few weeks after the outcome of the election. Zuckerberg has really been moving hard to please Trump. And this might be one of his biggest moves yet, because conservatives have been railing against social media companies, including Meta, that they're biased against Republican news outlets and Republican commentary on their platforms. Now, they are going to switch to a community note system on Facebook. And actually, it hasn't been too popular of an admission online today, but community notes on Twitter are actually a really great feature. Community notes allow everyday people to fact check others on Twitter. And then these community notes, if they get enough votes, I guess, appear below a tweet. And again, it works really well. It's been a great system. So I don't think necessarily that switching to community notes is a bad idea. But Zuckerberg was making all these announcements today. Meta is moving their trust and safety teams from California to Texas to avoid the appearance of being biased. As if...
Because Texas isn't biased. Like, look at the textbooks that come from Texas.
Exactly. Right. I mean, and what an insult to the people of California, by the way. And of course, Meta is still staying put in California largely.
Right. They should move them to like freaking Switzerland or something.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry at this point, no matter where you housed this part of your business, you're going to have 50% of the country thinking it's biased. You just are. Like, there's no avoiding that. This just tells me this man doesn't actually have any beliefs.
No, he just moves any way the wind blows.
Yep.
These announcements would not have been relevant.
That's like their biggest fear is that they're going to go the way of MySpace.
And what differentiates Threads now from Twitter when they're going to have very similar policies in terms of content moderation, how they handle different opinions on their platforms, etc.? They're just turning into another Twitter. And we were excited because Threads felt like a safer place. And now I guess we turn to Blue Sky, which I still really like. Zuckerberg announced a lot more today. We're not going to get into it all, but largely, other than the community notes feature, it was just very disappointing and scary.
So do we think there's going to be a Facebook exodus? I mean, there already has been progressively over the years, but do we think we're going to see something similar to what we've recently seen with the migration from Twitter to Blue Sky?
I hope this gives Blue Sky another bump. You would think it would, because Blue Sky initially had a lot of success after the election when people were feeling so upset by Elon and Twitter. So yeah, maybe. I mean, Facebook's already been a total mess for years. We all know this. Instagram, I doubt, will be affected by this in terms of the user base, because really there's no Instagram alternative still. As one person put it on Threads today, Mark Zuckerberg, dead at 52, says there's no need for fact checking.
Ooh, man.
I had to actually look up if Zuckerberg was 52. I knew he wasn't dead, but I was like, wait, is he 52? Because you never know with people these days.
I mean,
he's actually 40.
Oh, he's only 40?
I know.
What?
Only 40. Yeah.
Oh, God.
You thought he was older?
Yeah.
Laura, have you seen his looks lately? With the chain and the oversized clothing and the long curly hair? He's young and hip.
Oh, yeah. That definitely makes him look young and hip and not like a has-been. But
so he thinks. All right. Well, we have a look ahead episode planned for everybody today. And we're also going to look back at our 2024 predictions that we made a little over a year ago to see how many of those we got right. But first, Pam, one of the big things for Millennial in 2024 is we launched the merch store, right?
Yes, much lighter note than what we've been discussing in the last few minutes here. So our merch store is officially live in case you missed it. You can find it at shop.millennialshow.com. And we all had a lot of fun coming up with these products for you all. We have hoodies, we have sweaters, we have t-shirts, we have drinkware, which is super cute. So if you're looking to treat yourself to a little, belated holiday gift or something to kick off the start of the new year, you can once again find that over on shop.millennialshow.com. And we really appreciate you all for supporting us in this way, because it's just another way to support the show. So we hope you like the items too. We all ordered some for ourselves, and we've all been pretty happy with the quality and that stuff too, right? You guys like your items?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all really soft.
It is really soft, and it washes well.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the glassware. You can use those for your cancer-causing drinks.
There you go.
Yeah, I actually used that on our last episode of the year, did I not? Or like maybe the penultimate episode?
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, on one of those. All right, well, now let's look at our 2024 predictions. Like I said, we made these a little over a year ago in December 2023. And we also had Chloe, Pat, and Mark on that episode. And in the interest of time, we're just going to look at the ones that those three got right instead of going through all the predictions we made, which were a few dozen. So starting with us three, Laura, your first prediction was there will be a major breakthrough in medical diagnostic AI.
Yeah, like I'm not going to say that nothing happened in medical diagnostic AI, but I don't recall there being any major breaking news. And if there was, somebody please correct me. I could have totally missed it. One that I was not right on, but that I got I felt a little scared at one point that it was going to come true was Pope Francis dying. If y'all recall, he did get quite sick towards like the middle, or fall of last year. And I remember being like, oh my God, no, I didn't want to manifest this into existence.
I thought you were going to say you were like, oh my God, please die, please die.
No,
so your prediction could be
I don't
accurate.
want that smoke.
Oh, you don't want the Pope smoke?
Neither kind. And this is going to be kind of sad, I think, for everyone, because I predicted that Biden was going to narrowly win re-election.
Yeah, that's a theme in all of our predictions.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurt a little bit to see it. Especially that I noted key decision states of Georgia and Nevada, which both went Trump.
You got so specific.
Yeah. Well, in our defense, we couldn't possibly predict that Biden would lose. I mean, we don't want to put that bad juju out there. Of course, it had no effect on the outcome as much as we think we're influential here on the show. But we couldn't possibly say, you know what, Biden's going to, we didn't want to believe it either. It's too bad none of us made a prediction like Biden will drop out. None of us had that on our bingo cards.
No. It seemed kind of inconceivable.
Yeah. So Laura's predictions did not come true.
Nope.
Better luck this year. We'll make those later in the episode. Pam, what were your predictions?
Most of mine were surprise pop culture predictions. I did predict Reputation, Taylor's version, and debut Taylor's version in February and December, respectively, which did not happen. Taylor's still keeping those close to the chest. And I also was I really was convinced that we were going to see more stomp and holler in music. I just had this feeling that we were going to see a major resurgence in music. And I still feel like it's coming, but I guess 2024 was just a little bit too early for that. And then Laura also predicted Biden's reelection, which obviously did not happen. And I threw a little wild card in here. And I said that I thought Trump was going to pick DeSantis in a wild move for his VP pick.
Oh, man. So none of my predictions came true either. Isn't everybody excited for our 2025 predictions? You all can at least rest easy knowing that when we make our 2025 predictions, none of those will come true either. So it's teasing what's not going to happen, which might be comforting.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, right? So I like to make a death prediction every year because I'm sick. And I predicted that Dick Van Dyke would unfortunately pass away. And he fortunately did not. So that's good. Then this next one, man, I was mean. What was I thinking? I said, Pat will somehow ruin one of our new Vegas friendships. I've evolved over the last year. I would never say such a thing now. That didn't come true, by the way. I said I will attend 5 Bruce Springsteen shows. Can you believe it? This didn't come true either. I only attended 4.
Wow. Why? You were so close.
I know, right? I'll have to make up for it this year. And then this next one, Laura, I think I remember you laughing at how specific this was or how I wrote it. There will be a horrible weather event in America with mass casualties, the likes of which we haven't seen in a long time.
The reason I laughed about it is because for the last couple of years, you've used that same phrasing to describe some kind of horrible event.
Oh, well, I'll have to work it into my 2025 predictions then. The likes of which we haven't seen in a long time. There were obviously some really horrible weather events in America this year, hurricanes in particular. But the likes of which we haven't seen in a long time, no, we didn't have something like that. And then I too predicted that Biden would win re-election, and I said Trump's VP would be Nikki Haley. So looking at the correct predictions, so none of us got anything right, but our friends and family did. So Chloe, I'll give her a point for this. Chloe said Taylor Swift will announce and release her new book. She did release a book, an Eras Tour book, right, Pam?
She did, yeah. I'm pretty sure that, well, we all kind of thought that she might release an autobiography or something. She has a book Easter egg in the All Too Well 10-minute version, the short film. So I don't know if we were like necessarily expecting it. Basically, like it's like a fancier program. I don't know if like concerts still do programs. Do you guys remember?
Oh yeah,
programs when you used to go to concerts. Yeah, I got it for Christmas. It's really nice. There's some great, there's some great like flat lays and stuff like that. So definitely,
I saw it on TikTok
for that. Cool. But I wouldn't have predicted that it would have been like a commemorative Eras Tour, thing.
I do remember the rumors, I guess, over a year ago that she was going to be dropping a book of some sort, but not something like this. Pat predicted he would get news that he would be an uncle. That actually did come true.
Aww.
Yeah. This one, I guess any of us could have predicted this, with all due respect to Pat. Twitter/X will implode. I'd say that's...
Yeah, but like he's the only one who did.
That's true.
And I feel like that might have been a pretty hot take at the time. Like we'd have to go back and listen to the episode to see how we all reacted to it. But honestly, I feel like that's the prediction of the year. Honestly, for our show. Yeah. I mean, that came true for sure.
Well, yeah. And actually, we were just saying a few minutes ago that there was this mass exodus from Twitter to Blue Sky. So, and that was at the end of, that was after the election. So yeah, that's another way I think Twitter imploded.
I mean, you finally locked your account and logged off.
I did. So
yeah. That's pretty big.
Yeah. Mark, I'm going to give him a point for this one, too. He said that Nintendo will announce the Nintendo Switch 2 for real this time, he wrote. So Nintendo it hasn't been announced, but they did say that they would be announcing it by 2025. So they did confirm for the first time it was a real thing that's happening.
Yeah, it was the announcement for the announcement. Just like how we get the trailer for the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also said a greater push for tech glasses / wearable tech.
Yeah.
That came true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
The tech glasses are cool. The Meta Ray-Bans, I don't have them. I've tried them a couple times. They're very impressive.
I saw those while I was Christmas shopping out in the wilds. Like,
really?
For real. Yeah. And they did look really cool and sleek.
Yeah. They don't look good on me. The frames that they have don't look good. It's not because of the cameras. It's just the frames that are available are too small. I like bigger sunglasses. So once they release more options, maybe I'll go for it. All right. Those were our 2024 predictions. And we're going to take a quick break and then we will make our incorrect 2025 predictions. So we'll be right back. We will make 2025 predictions, the likes of which no one has ever seen
or will ever see.
That's like Andrew speak for unprecedented.
Unprecedented. So my first one, I think, is a bit of an easy one. Actually, this one will probably come true. President Donald J. Trump will not be able to stop Putin's war in Ukraine. He had been saying he would do this during the campaign cycle, and it's not going to happen. I even think at one point he said on day one, he's going to say, "Stop that, Vladimir," and he's going to stop it. It's not happening.
No, if anything, I think that he will be influenced into thinking that the U.S. somehow supporting Russian interests on this will be better for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. And that will be the narrative he tries to sell to Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually got a better deal for them, but it won't be. So it'll be definitely a case of like, it really depends on who's writing the history, you know?
Yeah. He'll spin it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I also predict that overall U.S. inflation in 2025 will be 2.8% over the course of the year. Currently, the 2024 inflation rate is 2.7%. I say currently because December is not accounted for. So I'm predicting that Trump will not be able to lower it, and it will tick up by 1/10 of a percentage point.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Trump, I mean, who knows what the fuck's going to happen with these tariffs, that depending on how quickly that moves, we could be fucked. But I think that he'll benefit for a good chunk of the year from the economic policy that came out of the Biden administration, and they'll take credit for it. That's what always happens. But yeah, I think it'll be stable this year. I don't know about next year though.
Yeah. I also predict that TikTok will not be banned later this month. It's supposed to be banned January 19th, the day before the inauguration of Trump. Trump used to want to ban it. He has since changed his stance on it. He actually asked the Supreme Court to hear the case. The Supreme Court will actually be hearing it later this week, on Friday specifically. They'll debate whether or not TikTok should be banned in the U.S. if it doesn't separate from the Chinese company ByteDance. It just seems... I don't even know how you ban it. So there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. What if he because he's supposed to be having some kind of rally on the 19th, the day before the inauguration, right? Like,
oh, is he?
I think so. Unless I don't think they've canceled it. What if he announces that at the rally?
What, that is not banned? That
it's not going to be banned.
That'd
Get special guest Brett Kavanaugh to show up and confirm.
Spoiler alert. We're saving TikTok for everybody. Man, actually, Trump's going to win over a lot of people, I think, if he saves TikTok.
The young people specifically, I would think so. Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm sorry, I have to make a death prediction because I'm sick like that. I must sadly share that Bill Shatner and Carol Burnett will pass away in 2025. R.I.P. Thank you for your contributions.
What is this based on? What are your death predictions based on? Do you kind of just like go see who's old and like kind of looking a little bit dead already?
That is, I literally go on Google and I search old celebrities.
I'm just saying because Carol Burnett's looking sprightly. Like she's at the award shows and stuff, and she looks like she's got a lot of energy.
I'm just telling you what Google tells me, and she's up there. So, yeah. What do you want me? I can't pick a younger person. That's just mean.
I know. That is even darker. I agree. I agree. I just wanted to know what your thought process was when you do these.
Because Pam's like Dick Van Dyke, Bob Barker. There's a trend
Dick Van
here.
Dyke is old, but I just like I want him to live forever because he's a national treasure.
I know. I'm sorry.
You know, James is making a good point here in the Discord. How did none of y'all predict Jimmy Carter? But I think you predicted him the year before, didn't you?
Did I?
One of us did. I just don't remember who.
Check the tape.
So, I think we all know that there will eventually be a big President Elon Musk, Vice President Trump breakup. It's not like an if, but a when. And I do not think that is going to happen in 2025. I think they're going to be pretty solid, maybe have some rocky patches throughout the year, but I think their relationship survives this year. I'll check in 2026 and let you know if I think the breakup will happen then. My next prediction is Trump will get H5N1, otherwise known as the avian flu, just very on brand for him. So, he'll be fine. He has access to the best healthcare in the world. But yeah, I just think he will. I think crypto is going to continue making gains. Specifically, I was looking at Bitcoin over the course of 2024. And Bitcoin surpassed 100,000 in December, which more than doubled its starting rate of 43,000 in January of 2024. So I'm going to predict that Bitcoin will double its value again this year. And that's not out of like self-serving interest because I don't own enough Bitcoin for that to matter terribly.
I don't own enough Bitcoin. You own some Bitcoin.
Yeah, I own like a couple $100 of Bitcoin.
Wow.
So if it doubles, it turns into $400. It's nothing crazy. But for the people who bought a lot of it when it was significantly lower at the start of the year, like if you're the kind of person who just has a lot of money to throw around like that, I think some people will do well. I also think I'm going to put Andrew on my nifty new shit list, knock knock pad once in 2025. I don't know.
Just once. Yes.
Just once. I don't think it's going to be more than once. I feel like that's a healthy rate. That's a
very healthy rate over the course of the year. Yeah, I'm only pissing you off once. That's phenomenal.
For the amount of like time that we all spend together, I feel like that's really good, actually.
I'm proud of that.
You should be.
Please let us know when it happens.
I will actually fill it out and I will take a picture of it and send it to you.
And then I'll know I've been bad.
And then my final prediction is that it will be confirmed that Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater have split after the press tour for Wicked 2 is complete.
So they're stuck together until then.
Yeah. I don't think they've split yet. I think they're still together.
But there's been rumors they're going to break up? I haven't really followed this too much. I know about the cheating.
I mean, yeah, we all know about the cheating, but I don't think there have been any rumors that they're split up. I'm just making a prediction that they will, but that it won't be confirmed until after press for the second movie is done.
I see. They're holding space for the press tour.
Exactly.
Once that is
I'm trying
finished.
to be very specific per your instructions.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, listeners, I asked all of us to be more as specific as possible so we have measurable data to work with this time next year. Mm-hmm. Bring us home, Pam.
So I think that Trump is going to pull a dick move and fly the flag at full mast during the inauguration, even though technically he's not supposed to yet, in remembrance of Jimmy Carter. So we'll see soon if that one turns out or not. And then I also think that Chappell Roan is going to be the big winner of the Grammys. She's nominated for 6 Grammy Awards in addition to being nominated for Best New Artist. So it's a really incredible debut on her end. And I just have a feeling that she's going to walk away with a few under her belt. And then I have to make a Taylor Swift prediction because I'm me. So I think that Taylor is going to re-release the Eras Tour movie. Only this time she'll do it with the Tortured Poets Department set included. So it'll be like even longer than the concert. If she adds in the bonus songs. Right. And I think that she'll do this in April for the album's anniversary.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it wouldn't be a set of Pam predictions unless she was making some Taylor Swift ones. Yeah. So I appreciate that you continue the trend. I've been
trying to predict Reputation for the last 2 years. We're going to switch it up.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, instead of just repeating the same
exactly.
That would be like me predicting
gonna be
Dick
if it
Van
does
Dyke's
happen
going to
this
die
year?
again.
Reputation?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be mad. I'll be happy, but I have a prediction in mind for when I think we're going to get it. But I'll be mad that it's not on the record if I get it right.
Swifties are amazing. They get so convinced that something's going to happen.
I know. I'll write it down. And also I think that like Taylor's getting like too clever for her own good because now that like everybody's playing the game,
right.
She has like more like Easter eggs that are like not really Easter eggs. They're like deterrents. I don't know how she keeps it all straight. Like there has to be somebody on her team that's just like in charge of reminding her like, remember, like you planted these red herrings, so don't do that again.
Remember the flickering screen during the tour for a little time? What did it mean? What did it mean? Remember that dress she wore that one day? It meant this album was imminent. It's again, like
it's impressive.
The Swifties that's impressive. But the Swifties also like they get in these like kind of what we were talking about, being convinced Kamala Harris was going to win because we saw so much joy and anticipation and hope on Twitter. People get so much, they hype each other up around little Easter eggs that they see, and then they believe it's actually going to happen. Like around her birthday, there were Swifties convinced she was going to be dropping something. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't agree with like the people that are disappointed. Like, I think it's really dumb. Like, for people to be like, and I think that that's kind of like the marker of like newer people in the fandom. So people that like flew out and bought tickets specifically to the final show at the Eras tour because they thought that there was going to be some big announcement based on like online analysis, right? And then to turn around and be like, oh, well, this was like such a disappointment because there was no big announcement. It's like, no, like your reward was getting to go to the Eras tour before it like finished forever. She doesn't owe you a big announcement just because like you thought something big was going to happen on the last day. That's dumb. Just enjoy the fact that you get to go to this sold out tour that like no one else is ever going to be able to experience live again after that day.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Anyway, I'm done. That's my soapbox.
I love your soapbox, Pam.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Those are our 2025 predictions. Here are some from listeners. This one cracks me up for two reasons. First of all, I'll just read it. 95 Ali S said, 2025 prediction, Millennial Patreon physical gift will be a butt plug. Now, the other funny part about this is that 95 Ali S is not a frequent participator in our Discord. So now she's coming out of the woodwork and then predicting a butt plug. All right, Ali, thanks for joining the conversation.
Coming in hot.
Happy to have you here. Yeah.
Hi, Ali.
Yeah. Looking forward to more of your commentary here in the Discord. James predicted that GTA 6 is going to be delayed. I very much agree with that. They have said it's going to come out in 2025, but that was over a year ago. They shared that date. Riley predicted that Trump and Elon will break up before year's end. I think I have to go with Riley on this.
All right.
They're flying too close. Elon is flying too close to the sun right now.
Yeah, I feel though, like, look at the way Trump flipped on H-1B visas. Like, complete about face on that because it was what Elon wanted. I don't know. I think Trump has a little crush.
He does have a crush. Yeah. But I mean, he could get really annoyed at him really quick. And then it's going to be, you're fired. So those are some predictions. We will revisit these in early 26 or the end of 25. So we're going to take one more break today, and then we are going to discuss our New Year's goals for the year. We'll be right back. All right. To wrap us up today, we're going to share our lovely goals for the year ahead. Laura or Pam, could you start, please?
Yeah, I can go first. I just have one. I'm trying to be better about like being intentional with goals and also like not just like, I hate to say like not striving for too much, but I feel like when you put too much on your plate, then you're less likely to succeed. So I have one goal that I'm really going to focus on, and it's taking another creative class or course. I really enjoyed getting back into creative writing last November, which I just shared on the show. So I'd like to do something similar again this year. Not necessarily writing again, although I wouldn't be opposed, but just some kind of like creative course that forces me to kind of maybe get out of my comfort zone. So I don't know if that's going to be like, you know, maybe taking a ceramics class or going back to music in some way. I haven't played anything in a long time, but I used to play instruments. So we'll see. We'll see what it is for this year, but that's my plan.
Yeah. I like that.
I love that.
And I like that you're not overburdening yourself with goals or resolutions because to your point, you get too wrapped up in like, oh, I got to hit these goals. And then maybe you don't complete them for whatever reason. And then you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Just trying to keep it low pressure, low stakes.
Yeah.
But still nice.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like for multiple years on this show, I have set multiple goals, like 3 to 4, that were way too big for me to keep up with. And so when we would check in at the start of the new year or the end of the year, I would be like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I need to be better. So Pam, like you, I decided to pick a couple of very specific things that are like easy to accomplish. So the first thing I'm doing, and it's something that I started in 2024, is taking a quarterly solo trip. This was something that I started doing last year for my mental health, where basically once every 3 months or so, I'm going on a trip for a long weekend, like a Friday through Monday, by myself, to be with myself and to do nothing but what I want to do. And it's been awesome. I actually just got back from doing my first solo trip of 2025, like a couple of days ago. I went to the beach for a nice winter beach trip, and it was so much fun and just so relaxing, so healing, and actually made me feel very positive going back to work this week, which was good.
It's really nice. It's liberating, isn't it? Being able to just,
it really is,
because it's nice to travel with other people, but it is nice just to be able to say, like, I'm going here by myself. I'm doing whatever I want, and I don't have to compromise based on whoever else is here.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can sleep in as late as I want. I can go eat wherever I want. Like,
right.
It's awesome.
And serious question, how does Mark take this? I'm going to take quarterly solo trips, because I feel like Pat wouldn't care either if I do solo stuff. I do solo stuff from time to time. But I think in some relationships, there might be like a feeling
like,
of,
why want me to be there?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying Laura and Mark have this, but I'm curious what, right. Yeah. How does this go in your relationship, out of curiosity?
He loves it, honestly. Maybe that sounded bad the way I put it, but he loves it because he sees how good it is for me. So he sees how good I feel when I come home, and he loves that I'm doing that for my mental health. And to be honest, like, he goes on trips by himself too. Like, he has a trip coming up. He's going with some friends. Like, you should be able to be your own person in a relationship. And there's something so special about learning to be with yourself and to be comfortable and happy in that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I'm wondering if Pat's okay with me doing it because he knows I want it or need it or enjoy it. I'll have to ask him later.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why. You think he just wants you out of the house?
No, I don't think that. I really don't think that. But he might wonder, like, why doesn't he want me to go with him? I've always been a very independent person, and Pat knows that. So that's probably a factor. But
yeah,
I have the flexibility to work from wherever.
Yeah, I cannot see Pat being someone who would be concerned about that.
No. The only question is like, oh, so I got to take care of both dogs? What the hell? You go off somewhere? What the heck?
Hey, that's part of the compromise of being a pet parent.
Yeah.
And then my other thing that I'm going to do, I actually set it up before I came into my part of the segment for goals, is to use my brand new standing desk. So I raised the desk. Y'all might have noticed I turned off the camera so I could surprise you. This is actually my regular desk, same desk that I've had for a couple of years now. For Christmas, Mark bought a standing desk conversion kit, and he kicked me out of the house on December 26th and was like, you can't be here. And he spent the day building this converter with my desk. So I get to have my same gaming desk that I love, but now I get to use it standing. And given that I'm at my desk almost all day, every day, this has been an instant quality of life improvement. So my goal is to use this every day for at least a couple hours. Yeah.
A couple hours. Wow. So are you wearing shoes while you're standing at your desk?
Right now I am. Yeah.
Okay. Because I have a problem, and maybe I just need to, like, I see you kind of rocking back and forth right now.
Yeah, like you should.
See, that's my problem. I think I'm like not moving enough because I have a standing desk too.
Yeah.
See, going up. But my back starts to hurt, and I think I need to there's like standing desk mats you can stand on to help. I've been trying to wear shoes a little more. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I could do a couple hours standing, but I feel like I can't.
Shoes with good insoles, I hear is a game changer, especially as we're all getting older.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one, which is hard for me sometimes to remember because I'm a big like fuzzy socks girl too. And if you're around the house, you just want to be in socks. But I've noticed that it makes a big difference if I'm in shoes, like even like putting on the shoes, like my running shoes that have like way more cushion. I barely feel like that I'm on my feet.
Yeah. And I will say, Andrew, if it makes you feel better, I'm not doing 2 hours straight standing. Like that might get uncomfortable. I would say throughout the day. So for instance, today I kind of traded off. Like I would take one meeting standing, and then my next meeting I would take sitting. and I just kind of traded off throughout the day. It was really nice.
That's a good way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can set up some blocks like that. Like, oh, during this activity that I do on a daily basis, it's going to be standing time.
Right.
And then back to sitting. Interesting. But I'm also with you, Laura, like quality of life improvement. Sometimes you just get so damn sick of sitting at your desk.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't take another second of this. So just standing at your desk really makes a difference in your productivity at that moment.
Even doing this show, because like you don't want to wiggle too much, you know? It's like, I feel like when I get up, it's like I feel my entire spine popping because I'm trying to have good posture and, you know.
Yeah. Hey, talk about getting old, y'all. I took a shot on Sunday. I threw my back to take the shot.
No.
My back cracked. And my friend heard it. It was like, Andrew, did your back just crack? I was like, I was on planes for a long time the day prior, so give me my back a break. But that was an old person moment.
Hey, listen, we all have them. Do you remember? It might have been 2024. I like abruptly one day turned my neck just kind of at a weird angle. And that night I couldn't be camera on the show because my head was stuck like this. And you know what the worst part about that? As I was demonstrating that just now, my neck cracked.
Yeah. James says, that's my goal, Laura, to get a standing desk and then a treadmill like Pam has. Like the under desk treadmill, maybe, is that what?
Yeah, and I don't usually use it with I lack the coordination to be able to walk and work at the same time because I think I just walk fast in general. So walking slow just irritates me. And so I have trouble finding a good pace, but I know a lot of people do it and they get their walk in while they're working, and good for them.
Yeah. And I can't remember if we've talked about this on the show before, but I've wanted one of those because I think that'd be nice to move like that while working. But with editing, some of it can be so precise that if your arms or hands are kind of bouncing up and down, that's not going to be easy.
But I like it too for like if I have to obviously watch stuff for work and but then also like I watch stuff just for fun. And so if I feel like I've been sitting all day and I don't want to sit again, but I want to watch, say, like Outlander on Friday after I finish working, then I can just pull out the walking pad and, you know, set it up in the living room and then walk while I'm watching that. And it's just like, you know, it's a nice way to kind of do both at the same time.
Yeah. I love this shot of Laura standing. I feel like she's like reporting for the local news. Like,
I know.
I should stand while I'm doing this.
I feel so official right now.
Maybe I'll stand during After Dark.
Maybe.
That'll be a good 20-30 minutes.
Desks up.
Part of the reason I wanted to demonstrate this was so that I could awkwardly lower the desk.
And here the camera slowly is coming down.
And you all see me as it's slowly lowering.
This is so dynamic.
That.
Yeah, me too. Just have it go up and down the whole time.
Mine is manual. I just have like a standing rolling desk, which I highly recommend. I got mine off the TikTok shop. It was the best like $30 I ever spent, honestly.
Yeah.
And I roll it all over the house whenever I want to change of scenery, and I can stand or sit. So
yeah,
it's
an option if you have a small space.
And this is it was like the best Christmas present ever. Cause I was just like, it was a labor of love, man. It took that man like 13 hours to do this. It was a real pain in the ass.
All right. Well, that was fun to discuss. And listeners, let us know if you have any goals for 2025. And if you do, good luck with them. We hope you crush them in the new year. And by the way, in the last After Dark of last year, we had discussed what we and the listeners were proud of in 2024. And it was really inspiring and fun to talk about those things. So definitely check that out. Coming up in this week's After Dark, we're going to discuss the ins and outs of 2025. What are we saying goodbye to in this year, and what are we saying hello to? And when we talk about this, we're not talking necessarily personally, though that might come up inevitably. We're going to be talking about where society is moving with certain trends and words and activities.
After Dark is part of Mega Millennial, which you get every week when you're a patron or Apple Podcast subscriber. It's also ad-free. Visit patreon.com/millennial to pledge today, or Apple Podcast users can tap into the show and subscribe to the Mega Millennial feed.
Other Patreon benefits include recording studio access, Smart Mouths archive releases, our community Zoom hangouts, and access to our planning meetings. It's easy to get started. Apple Podcasts and Patreon offers 7-day free trials and annual subscription discounts.
Time for recommendations. What do you have for us, Pam?
I want to recommend upgrading to a smart electric kettle. I got one of these for Christmas, and it's a game changer. I just love being able to set the water to start boiling when I'm in the back of the house, or like right when my alarm goes off. And then I go into the kitchen and the water's ready for coffee. I do pour over coffee, so this is great for me, but also good if you're a tea drinker, if you like doing French press like Andrew does. So yeah, this is just really great. It's one of those like nice little treats that you can do to kind of elevate your life in small ways and make things easier for yourself. So yeah, I've been enjoying that a lot.
My recommendation actually ends up being pretty timely because we were just talking about our standing desks. I like to make this type of recommendation every year. Let this serve as a reminder to refresh and green your space, whether that's your office or another part of your home. And I like to bring this up because we put away our holiday decorations and we're looking around and we're like, oh, everything feels so bare and dead again. This is really sad. You get that post-holiday blues. Go buy some succulents, buy some nice indoor house plants. Some of these you just end up getting really lucky with and they will last years. We just started taking down our Christmas decorations last night, and we all feel it. It's just sad looking around the house post holidays. And another easy way to refresh your space, I think, and this is something I'm telling myself to do too. I want to get a desk mat that sits under the keyboard and the mouse. It's such an easy way to change up the space right in front of you, add some pops of color, add some cute art, and it's also helping protect your desk. I see a lot of people use these. I haven't done it myself, but I'm like, that's a good one for me to do this year. So
yeah,
I'm going to get on that.
I have one.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Jurassic Park themed.
Oh, of course. We should have guessed.
Yeah. But like, I think, Mark got it for me and I think he got it off Etsy. So like you can easily find all kinds of custom stuff like that.
Yeah. I'll have to get shopping.
And I want to recommend a game that I started playing over the winter break called Cult of Lamb. And it's basically a game where you play as a little lamb and you are trying to start a cult for a larger cult leader than yourself. And that's literally the game. It's so darkly humorous in the way that it's written and the missions that you're given, but it's also designed in a very cute way. So the juxtaposition is great, but it's also just a really fun game and very addictive. I put a lot of hours into it over the break.
All right, pals, time for a few reminders before we wrap up the show. Pam, what were you saying about our merch store earlier?
Well, it's up and running, so you can head over to shop.millennialshow.com to grab sweatshirts, t-shirts, drinkware, bags, and so much more. So please do go over and browse and see if anything strikes your fancy. And once again, we really appreciate anyone that chooses to buy anything from the merch store because it all goes back to the show. It's a great and fun way to support us as well if you don't want to support us on Patreon, for example.
Yeah, and speaking of supporting us, we'll take any way you can help us. One of those ways is to make sure you're following the show in your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. And another great way to help us out is to leave us a review in Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And also don't forget, we're releasing video episodes on YouTube. So leave comments, like, share, all the things the YouTubers say.
And to stay in touch with us, email millennialshow@gmail.com or visit millennialshow.com. While there, you'll also find all the links to our various social media channels, so please do give us a follow there as well. Spotify users can also leave feedback directly within an episode.
After Dark and my transition to the standing desk will start in a moment for patrons and Apple Podcast subscribers. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I'm Andrew.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Pamela.
I'm moving up. Moving on up, moving on up. Everybody's getting a new view of my room too. I don't like this. This is revealing too much. It's like scantily
I didn't realize
clad.
the wall goes that high with you.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I got 20-foot ceilings in this room. Wouldn't it have been hilarious if the camera came up and you just saw like Playboy magazine covers on here? No, it's just more Springsteen stuff. Shocker. All right, bye everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.